Second time is a key to perfection.
Sure. Padded Room Podcasting Hour is on the air, you motherfuckers. My name is Darian. I'm back with another week of horror bullshit. I'm not alone this week, bitches. Jason Harrell's in the house.
I have returned.
He made it back, everybody. He survived.
I actually woke up from a nap and managed to crawl my way in here.
He did. Normally, I start getting the excuses around noonish about how tired he is.
Just so tired.
Oh.
If I can crawl my way through 9 more days.
9 days, Jason?
I'm in the single digits.
9 days? So 8 and a wake up? Or
it's actually 9.
9 full days?
Yes.
God damn it.
Trust me, I try every mind game I can to make it sound shorter than
sure.
what it is.
You know?
It's 9 full days. Of course, I'll leave as early as I can during that time.
Of course, and do as little as possible while you're there.
I would be in the negative for effort at this point.
It's a good thing you don't retire on effort. You retire on
time. I would be there for 1,000 lifetimes.
Yes, I would be there. I would still be doing time served.
Someone is celebrating a birthday today.
45 years young.
I remember 45.
Back when I was a kid. It's my birthday, inmates. Whatever, dude. I don't really care. Thank you, everybody. Thank you guys on Facebook that reached out to me, and I know a couple of you guys texted me. Thank you very much for the birthday wishes. I'm 45. Feels just like 44.
Yep.
So I'm not too excited about it. I'm not a big birthday guy, Jason. I don't care. Me
either.
You know? I just don't care.
Yeah.
I got to take a nap when I got home from work.
You did more than I would do. I never. The only thing I would ever do for myself on my birthday is just not go to work.
So I came home early, which was great.
A good start.
And I would be perfectly fine just forgetting the whole ordeal. But my wife likes to make a big deal out of it. So she got me an Apple Watch and a wallet. And I was promised some sexual favors later on.
Well, if she didn't promise it, you were just going to take it anyway.
I mean, it's true. At least she gave me a heads up. Like a farewell, hey, it's going down. At least
she didn't have to break out the sedatives this time.
She's very aggressive. It's frightening at times.
So she got you a wallet, huh?
She did.
I'm way too picky about my wallet to let somebody pick that out. Yeah.
So I'm not at all.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that all the bullshit adds up, and because I'm like a basic pack rat, I refuse to throw anything away. So I've got frequent shopper cards from sandwich shops that closed decades ago. I'm not letting go of those fucking things because they could reopen at any time, Jason.
Yeah, it's good to have that nickel off a gallon of gas
totally.
at some abandoned gas station.
Absolutely. But she got me a wallet. Man, the other one was too fat, and it was becoming a real pain in the keister.
Yeah.
So she got me like this cool...
Flaring up the sciatica?
Yeah, and it's like a weird tactical wallet. It's got like a band and a strip, and it's got a metal backing, so I can throw it like a ninja star if I have to.
I like it.
So look out for that. Darian's attacking people with his wallet.
Well, with all those coupons inside of it, it'll probably have some good heft.
Oh, yeah, it's got some heft to it.
Yeah, nice.
And it's gonna cause me some health issues later on in life. That's what I got, man. I got an Apple Watch and a wallet. I'm pretty happy. I'm excited about that.
Yeah,
I splurged on some horror movies, but I started doing that like 2 months ago.
I think you did that a couple of decades ago.
I did, and I finally put the stack away. Now I need to build more shelves because I'm out of room. Fuck! All right, enough about me. Let's get into the regular horror show here, Jason.
Let's roll.
We got horror news. We got listener mail. We got all the fun stuff that comes with the padded room. Let's kick things off with a little horror news, my friend.
Horror news.
What you got, hot dog?
3 juicy nuggets.
Okay, I like nuggets.
Today, Subspecies 5 Blood Rise is released. I'm sure you're excited. My fleshling.
Somebody get me a drool pen.
My latex fingers bend so much. It's terrible.
I love it.
In better news, Deadstream releases today.
Oh, physical?
Yes.
Very nice. Where do you find it?
You can order it from Amazon or
Okay, I'm
probably
on top of
Best
that.
Buy or something.
Sure.
But in best news, Deadstream Steelbook Edition released to Walmart exclusively today.
Okay.
So I've got mine ordered.
I've got a guilty confession to make.
All right.
You're going to punch me in the face.
More than
it's
likely.
fine. I probably deserve it.
You bought a bootleg of it months ago, didn't you?
No.
Oh.
This is worse.
Okay.
This is worse. I've ordered the Steelbook of Skinamarink.
Did you really?
I did.
Wow.
Now, because I need answers, Jason. I need some answers on this.
This was my justification for the Birdemic movie.
Okay, but the Birdemic isn't...
I've still got a black eye from your response.
Birdemic is an actual movie. Skinamarink, not so much. But I want to know. I want to know what the fuck I'm looking at.
Okay.
And I'm hoping there's some special features or something in there that explains something that makes this make sense to me.
I hope the director's commentary consists of one sentence, and that is, I just set it to record some static, and people went nuts.
We dropped the camera 14 times. This was not supposed to be in the movie. I gotta know, man.
I like the Steelbook itself.
Yes.
Just hate the movie.
I get that.
So.
I got the Steelbook. It's on its way.
Nice. It's very cheap.
Yeah. No. I'm not
like
worried about that.
$15 or
something like that.
Yeah.
I'll report. I got to sit through it again, though. Is the problem? I don't want to sit through it again.
I think you should.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Watch it with a commentary track, and I have had this concept in mind for quite some time.
Okay.
Patreon exclusive.
Okay.
The Extras Extra.
Okay.
And it's basically just segments of us or you or me just going into the extras so other people don't have to.
Sure.
Commentary tracks, things like that.
Okay.
Or,
a deep
for
dive.
these movies.
Sure, a deep dive.
Yeah.
So we got to do our homework.
Well, it could basically be regurgitating the commentary track
okay,
in truncated form.
I'm into that, but do we want to put that kind of effort into Skinamarink?
Well, you're the one that ordered it.
Because I want to know.
Well, there you go.
I want to know.
So you're obviously going to find out in about a year and a half.
Yes.
And then at that point, you hit the record button and you give the 5-minute synopsis. Because really, I'm expecting
That's
nothing.
all there is. Really, that's all there is to it. Right on, man. I'm excited for that. I'm going to get on that Deadstream pre-order.
Nice.
I'm very excited for that. I've got some exciting news here. Netflix has entered talks with Guillermo del Toro on rebooting the Dark Universe.
Okay.
He has a Frankenstein reimagining or whatever coming out later on this year, and they would like to make it into an expansive situation with the various other Universal monsters. I'm not mad at it.
I think it would be visually great.
I'm not a huge Guillermo del Toro guy.
I just think it would go off into like fantasy land.
Into some kind of fairy tale.
It would become some kind of love story.
Yes.
Frankenstein's a tragic creature.
And then somebody's going to fuck a fish guy. Which is where that's all.
Dibs.
I can't get past that. When you say Guillermo del Toro, I go right to the chick that fucked the fish guy. I'm sorry. Either way, I'll check it out. We've had various attempts at this. I think the best, silly as it was, is probably Dracula Untold. I'm not going to bring up The Mummy because I'm just going to get
yes, you will.
Involved in a flame war. But there is that also. What else we got here? Dark Knight of the Scarecrow soundtrack is releasing to vinyl. Jason, are you a vinyl guy?
Nah.
That's why we're friends.
I like the album art.
You're right.
But then I throw it in a frame, put it on the wall, and I'm good to go.
Okay. I think there's... I don't understand it, man, to be honest with you.
I don't listen to much music, though, in general.
But I got into this like 5-6 years ago. I got into this big discussion with Cake Wolf over vinyl versus MP3s, and he's like, it connects you to the music because you got to pick up the needle and find your favorite song. And
well,
why?
I do appreciate that aspect of physical media in general.
Sure.
I mean, having to walk down the hallway, pull out the fucking Blu-ray,
sure,
take my lard ass back to the living room, take it out of the case. There is that kind of intimacy.
Okay, I'm with that.
So I get where he's coming from.
I'm with that, but what I don't understand is like, I think at this point it's more of an aesthetic thing. Mm-hmm. People like having shelves full of whatever. Myself included, clearly, looking around this room.
Both of us, yeah.
But my question is sound quality. You can't beat like an MP3 because it's crystal clear and it comes in stereo and all that. Why would you regress to a record player?
I am not audiophile enough.
All right. I don't.
Because there's definitely people that, talk about the quality and the purity of that analog that comes off of a record.
Sure.
Versus the digital kind of version.
Okay.
But at the same time, you get people that argue for that crystal clear clarity of CDs.
Yeah. Hey, I'm really bummed that I don't get 14 seconds of static before my favorite song. Well, what the... All right, whatever. Moving right along, speaking of those people, The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon will debut this September on AMC. So there's that for you. Is there anybody still paying attention?
Dude, I saw the teaser for that Maggie and Negan show. Yeah. I was so angry by the end. I'm like, why? Stop it. Just make it stop.
You can't, dude. It's like its own economy at this point, right?
It's so crazy.
They have Walking Dead bucks, and they spend them on Walking Dead burgers and things.
Oh, speaking of which, you need to flip your Daryl Dixon page there on the calendar.
I do. Shit! I need to go to Daryl Dixon July. I'm still in Daryl Dixon June. Fuck! That was a gift from my mom, by the way. And if I do not have it prominently displayed, she's going to kick my ass. Speaking of which, I don't know how I feel about this one. Return of the Living Dead reboot in the works.
Saw a headline for that, but underneath it had a picture of Jennifer Lawrence, I thought.
So, yeah, they are in contract negotiations to try to get her to be a part of it. I don't know if she's going to. I seriously doubt. It's an independent studio that's putting this out, so I don't think she's going to be. They can't afford her,
right?
But if they might be able to afford 14 seconds of her or something like that. I don't know how you recapture that. Is my problem.
I don't either.
The spirit, in my opinion, of Return of the Living Dead is capturing that punk rock moment in history and transferring it into a zombie horror comedy, which worked beautifully.
Now you'd have to drop a bunch of emo kids in there.
That's what I'm saying. They'd all be on their phones. They wouldn't even notice the fucking zombies. Right? But this is old guy Darian and Jason talking.
And even older guy today.
Exactly. I don't know. Maybe you have to do it at some kind of a protest or something, and then...
I am up, again, I'll say it again. I'm up for any remake, because I think there's always the potential of improvement. I seriously doubt they'll do it, but I'm always up for the challenge.
So here's why I'm not angry at this at all. We are now up to 5 Return of the Living Dead movies. All but one of them has sucked a bag of dicks, in my humble opinion. Part 2 was basically a kid's movie.
Oh, Part 2's fun.
It's a kid's movie.
Part 3's perfectly fine.
Part 3 is like a weird Bon Jovi music video with a zombie in it. 4 and 5, I can't even tell you what the hell's going on. It has a lot to do with techno music.
I can't remember anything past 3.
Necropolis and Rave to the Grave. They're both dumb as shit. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I don't know, man. I let that. So really, as far as I'm concerned, in the Return of the Living Dead bubble, mythos, franchise, whatever you want to call it, there's nowhere else to go but up. So I will probably check it out one way or the other.
They would. The only way I could see it succeeding is basically you're only taking the IP itself. You're only taking the title. I think you would completely have to shift the tone of the movie
clearly
to make it a good movie that resonates today.
Right.
There's no way that humor is going to land. There's no way that you could reincorporate that punk scene.
Nope.
There's just way too much 80s in that movie to reproduce it. So I really think they'd have to take the title and then make it like a bona fide horror movie.
Yeah.
Because the premise, I mean, you know, the root premise of the movie, you could really make a good, deep horror movie off of that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know where they go. I'll check it out one way or the other. Lastly, Mall of America is opening a 45,000 square foot haunted attraction this Halloween.
Jeez.
That's like half the mall right there. So I would love to. I'm not going to go to Minnesota. I would love Minneapolis. I would love to, but I'm not. Nah.
Sure.
Nobody has time for that. But 45,000 square feet, man, that's going to take you at least an hour to get through, I imagine.
That's pretty big.
I would love to check it out if I lived in Minnesota, perhaps, but I don't. So, no, thank you. You ready for some listener mail, amigo?
Hell yeah.
Let's get it on.
Listener mail.
Emails, voicemails, the whole thing. Let's start it off in Sydney, Australia, Jason. Here comes Team
G'day, mate.
Dummies for Horror. Not horror for dummies.
Definitely not.
Do not fuck that up, inmates.
You will be sued.
Subject line, oh, Alan, why? Why, Alan, why? What's up, guys? How are we this week? So before I get to the usual shit, Darian, you asked about weather here in Australia and how cold it does actually get. So where I live, which is about an hour south of Sydney, it doesn't snow. It will get to about 8 degrees Celsius, which is about 46 degrees to you guys. So not overly cold, but we are used to hot climates, so cold for us. Fair enough. Pterodome, I have to admit something. I've never seen Rabbit. So on that note, I'll take the weasel guy for the win.
Yeah.
I don't think he's seen Willy's Wonderland either. Meat Hook, Ghost Films. Number 3, The Frighteners. Have you seen The Frighteners, Jay?
Yeah, a long time ago in the theater.
More of a comedy, but it's all right.
Yeah, it's
Number
fine.
2, We Are Still Here. Have you seen that one, Jason?
We are still here. Oh, I know I've seen it, but I don't remember it.
Picture Barbara Crampton with a bowl haircut.
Oh, gosh.
It's you. I said once that I would have sex with Barbara Crampton in any fashion, but
that bowl,
not
that bowl cut.
That bowl cut is unacceptable to me. Number 1, The Orphanage. Lastly, before I go, I need to speak to a fellow inmate, Mr. Cha-Cha himself, Alan. So, Alan mentioned that he doesn't care for Jaws. Well, let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you something, brother. That's cool. Alan's my brother from another mother, and if he doesn't like something that I love, well, that's fine with me. I'm sure I don't like films that he loves, and that's cool. But the bottom line remains, as long as we both equally hate Halloween Ends, then we're going to be all right. That's it for me, lovers. Have a great week. Team.
Oh, there's a three-way of that hatred.
Oh, let's make it a foreplay of the hatred.
We're forming a regular human centipede of hatred.
Of just angry bullshit. I will eat another turd before I watch Halloween Ends again. It's disgusting, man. Thank you for writing in, Tim. He brings up a good point. Dude, we don't have to like to say that's part of what kind of brings us together as horror fans. We all have that guilty pleasure movie that everybody seems to shit on, and everybody seems to enjoy one movie that one or two of us seems to hate for no fucking reason. Mm-hmm. Case in point, The Shining, Monster Squad, other movies that people really dig and hold dear for some goddamn fucking reason that I don't understand why.
Yep.
And I Am Zozo. It's a piece of shit. I can't watch it enough. I need to watch it again because I feel like there's something I missed.
You need a good commentary track.
I've watched the commentary track. It doesn't explain a fucking thing.
Sounds like you've got your first episode of the Extras Extra.
Okay.
Or commentary on commentary.
Extra. Right on, Tim. Thanks for writing in, amigo. We got some voicemails coming at us there, Jay.
Bring them in.
Jay, we're going to kick things off with our main man in Alabama. Speaking of Alan, the man of the cha-cha, here he comes.
Alan.
Padded room, what's up?
What's up,
Hope
Alan?
everybody's
What's up,
doing
dog?
good. All right. Terradome, give me,
Willie the Weasel versus Rose.
shit, I don't remember who Terradome is.
Okay.
But Mr. Darian, are you the Hunt?
Yeah, I am the Hunt.
That's
Well
all I
done,
could
sir.
think of. And, Meat Hook,
Yeah.
Ghost movies.
Ghost movies. What do you think, bud?
I'm gonna go with, I don't know, man. I like ghost movies. Shit, I'm not organized. I watched the new Evil Dead.
Okay. What do you
Really
think of that?
liked it.
It's good.
I'll get back to you in a little bit.
Okay.
It's been a day.
All right.
Talk to y'all later.
Yeah.
I think I'll just call and wing it.
You know what? I don't know what I'm talking about.
Abort.
This is not going the way I had hoped. I will call you back. He did call back. Hopefully he's got his shit together. Alan?
Padded room, what's
Okay,
up?
let's try it again.
Try to call back. So,
Right on.
Terradome, give me the thing from Willy's Wonderland.
There you go.
And Meat Hook Ghost movies. I'm going to go with 13 Ghosts
Okay.
from 2001.
Sure.
The Frighteners. I love that movie. It's just one I don't think about that much.
Fair enough.
And finally, I guess
What do you think?
I'm going to go with American Haunting, the one about the Bell Witch.
Really?
And I finally got around to watching X.
Yeah, what do you think of that?
I liked it.
It's a good show.
Mia Goth did a really good job playing Trashy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think she's that attractive. She looks kind of like an alien.
Yeah.
But I thought she nailed trashy Texas porn, Southern,
Okay.
the Texan porn stars.
Sure.
Anyway, hope y'all are all good. Talk to y'all later. Bye.
Right on. Thanks for calling back, Alan. I don't find Mia Goth attractive at all.
She was prettier in that. I just watched that.
Infinity Pool?
Yes.
I disagree. I think she was uglier in Infinity Pool. I think when they tried,
I think we can come to the agreement that she is a bit of a butterface.
she is a very much butter. She's got like a weird pig nose thing going on. I can't get past that. And she's got huge teeth. That's another...
Throw a bowl cut on there and you're set.
I'm ready to go, baby. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me. I thought she was kind of hot in X because it was like a trashy, I could fuck her behind a 7-Eleven vibe to it. But after that, like getting back to Pearl, no. Infinity Pool, where I felt like they tried to doll her up.
Yeah.
I feel like it just made it worse. I don't know. That's just me. What else we got here? Here comes from Southern California, Mr. Tom Hardy.
Hey, yo.
Hey yo!
Hey yo! Padded room. How's my favorite degenerates this week?
We're here.
Good.
I hope everyone is doing well.
I think we're
Let
okay.
me just get right into that there in that terror dome.
All right, what do you think?
We got Willie the Weasel against Rose. Man, you gotta go with the Weasel on this
Yeah,
one,
I
man.
agree.
Pop goes the weasel.
Fuck yeah, Pauly Shore is gonna be kicking some ass. No, but for reality, I think you got to go with Willie the Weasel, and I'd like all the inmates to join in on this with me. I think we got to get a Willie the Weasel versus Sam championship.
That's
bout.
where we're headed, I think.
I just don't think it logically could be anything else. I mean, he's a weasel.
An
Rose,
animatronic.
I think it is.
Weasel.
She doesn't have that sucker punch or sucker pop punch or whatever it was.
The sucker stab.
Nicolas Cage was drinking. So
yeah.
it's
What
got to
was
be
that?
Willie the Weasel, man.
Okay.
Oh, real quick. I know some people might be getting on Darian for
As
last
usual.
week misgendering a
whoa.
character in a flick.
Oh, shit. What am I...
Take it easy, everyone. Everyone knows Darian's not a fucking racist or sexist or any bullshit
Quite the
like
contrary.
that. He's been down with
I
the
am
fucking
actually
PG
both.
Cause ever since that Mummy flick, man. He was into that dude. Not Tom Cruise, the other dude that played the Mummy. So
Hey,
everybody take it fucking
He's
easy
hot,
on him.
whoever he
Okay,
is.
we get you, Darian. It was just a mistake. No big deal.
all right.
On the ghost flicks.
Yeah, what do you think, man?
The meat hooks, man. I think, you know what? I was trying to think about some really good ones.
Okay.
I kind of came to it like, hey, you know what? I'm not a big ghost guy.
I get that.
I like a physical, tangible critter that you can fight or whatever. But anyway, as far as the 3 on the meat hook for the ghost flick,
Yeah, what do you think?
for number 3, I got to say, give me Sixth Sense.
Okay.
Funny thing about this flick, I saw it when it first came out. I saw it in the theater, and then I think I saw it when it came out on video, like, around the time it did.
Sure.
I don't think I've seen the flick since. And it's one of those flicks that, to me, is like, it's super good. It's a great movie, but I don't know. I haven't rewatched it, and maybe that's why I still remember it with, like, fond feelings. But I don't know.
I'm into that.
For number 2, give me The Grudge. Remember seeing this one in the theater as well. And I know it came out after The Ring, or I believe it did. And I remember hearing about The Ring, and I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
But seeing it really opened my eyes to, like,
J-horror.
What is that? Japanese horror, Japan horror, J-horror, I guess they call it. I can't remember the fucking whatever. And I got to say, I thought it was great. I thought it was, I got good nostalgic feelings on that flick. And I still prefer it to The Ring. And then
I don't know if I go that far. GP, you knew it was going to happen. Happens every week. Call it back, though.
Motherfucking P.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Anyway, like I was saying, I'm going to take The Shining. I think it's one of the reasons that it's such a great flick is that it could be seen as a ghost flick. It could be seen as a possession flick, or just, hey, maybe it's just a fucking guy gone crazy flick.
There is that, too.
I think that's one of the great things about it. So, yeah, definitely put me down for The Shining. Number 1 best ghost flick out there.
Okay.
On the What Are You Looking At department, I got to catch the flick Camp Murder.
Okay.
Stay away from this fucking thing. I want to say it's like 83 minutes, and it literally has a commercial in the middle of it for other movies by it, which has the running time out, from probably like, 74 minutes to 83 or whatever the fuck it is.
All right. That's weird.
Kind of a boring flick. It's a slasher, cheap, low-budget bullshit.
It's called
Wanted
Camp
to
Murder.
like it. Not
what were
that
you
great,
expecting?
But whatever. I also got to catch the flick, There's Nothing Out There, which, I've been hearing about for a while. Oh, this is the predecessor to Scream. This is, the Scream ripped this flick off and stuff. And, I can see where people might say some bullshit like that.
Okay.
But, I mean, if you've seen the flick, it's, aside from somebody just referencing horror movies that they've seen and the tropes in horror movie and how to avoid those tropes or how to overcome them, it really doesn't have the same shit. And I think there's other horror flicks that we've talked about before that have that same sort of thing. So, I don't know. All in all, I say it's okay. I think the flick came out in 92, but if you watch it, it's so fucking 80. And,
nice.
All in all, I'd say watch it. It's a decent enough flick, but don't get your hopes up that it's going to be this groundbreaking, new horror movie or horror genre. It's going to, put the horror genre on its head. Anyway, hope all is well. Love you like family. Bye now.
Love you too, Tom Hardy.
The plot synopsis does say a huge mutant frog starts to pick them off one at a time.
I actually started that a couple weeks ago. I fell asleep, but there's that Jamie Kennedy dude that's running around going, no, I've seen this movie. We got to stay inside.
Right.
Why would we split up? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But at the end, it's a mutant frog. So
Gotcha.
There's that. Right on, Mr. Hardy. Thank you for calling in. Jason, let's get down to business here. Who do you think is going to win in a fight between Rose from Rabid and Willie the Weasel?
Willie the Weasel, sir.
I figured that much. I think this
that
might
is
be
my
a blowout.
vote, and I also have my ghost from last week.
Oh, yeah, let's hear your meat hook.
And this is so crazy that this comes in at number 3.
Okay.
Just because of how much I've turned around on this movie.
Okay.
The Innkeepers.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. Dude, I'm captivated by this damn movie.
Even with Lena Dunham.
which
is usually a deal breaker.
With that dude, Lena Dunham.
With Mr. Lena Dunham.
Number 2, Sixth Sense.
Okay.
A movie I've repeat watched countless times.
Okay.
And number 1, Stir of Echoes.
I figured Stir of Echoes would show up.
Yeah. Love Innkeepers.
Have you ever watched it just under the like keeping in mind that it all might be in her head.
It's not absolutely.
You don't
not.
think so?
No,
it's not even a possibility.
I really think you need to rewatch it.
I will. I've got it on the shelf over here. One of these days, I'll get back to it.
Yeah, I think if you watch it again, I think you'll be locked in definitively. Ghost
time.
Yep.
Sure. I love Pat Healy.
Yeah,
he's one of my favorites. Did you see her at the very end?
Did I see what?
Sarah Paxton.
At which point?
Last 30 seconds of the movie.
Okay.
Slow pan around the room. Door slams.
Saw the door slam.
If you look very, 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 very closely,
okay,
you can see the ghost of Sarah Paxton.
Don't know if I ever even saw her. You
got to slow it down, and you really got to look. And she just she looks at the camera right before the door slams. It's a motherfucker. It takes you might have to call into work if you want to see this, which you were planning on doing anyway. So you'll be fine. Right on. You got anything for Alan, Tim, or Tom Hardy?
Love you.
Love you guys. Thanks for calling and writing in. Your Terror Dome votes are locked. It's time for us to get into a movie, amigos.
Surprise!
Mr. Marsh!
Wow. Is that a view or what?
How long have you two been married? 3 years.
Well, you're going to make a wonderful mother. The neighbors around here, we're part of a seaside community, the Silver Beach colony. So happy you made it.
I think this whole Solar Beach community is a little Stepford-like. Pet 3 seems to fit in real well.
You smoke.
I get a little loopy when I smoke.
It'll help you focus for your journey. Focus. Focus.
See the light?
Put your hands up to the light. Be awake.
Pet 3.
Hello? I'm in danger. They're watching always.
They took my chest.
You brought it to us. You made your choice.
I found a hidden camera. They've been watching us this entire time. What is out there?
Don't be afraid.
We need to call the police. What is wrong with you?
You'll be like me, a mother to the darkness.
Where's the baby?
Yeah, excuse me, it is The Deep Ones from 2021. This one got 4.1 stars on IMDb, is directed by Chad Farrar, written by somewhat H.P. Lovecraft, stars Gia Lepiano, Robert Miano, and Johan Urko. Yes, sir.
It's an all-star lineup.
We got some exotic individuals here, Jason. This one's rated TVMA, which begs some serious questions about what exactly TVMA means.
Weird.
Yeah, because there is plenty of TNA in this one.
Yeah, there's plenty of tits.
Last week's movie was also rated TVMA, and I would have shown it to my kids with no problem. So
interesting.
I don't know how any of this works anymore.
Right.
Apparently, it's fine. It is H.P. Lovecraft's The Deep Ones. Now, if any of you guys are Lovecraft fans, or really cult movie fans at all, or know anything about anything, or have ever seen a movie involving a Cthulhu cult, you know exactly where this is going. And it doesn't disappoint. That's exactly where we're headed. We got a couple of fun little things that are going to happen along the way, but it's all well and good. We start off with a very attractive naked young lady being pursued down the beach by some people in cloaks. Never a good sign, Jason. I don't know how we got to the naked part. I'm interested in that, but the part where the cloaked individuals are chasing, that's no good. You don't want to. That's a Tinder date gone wrong.
It really is.
We don't know exactly what happens to this young lady, except that she is naked. She gets caught, and then from there we cut back to our regular story, which is where we're going to pick up. We have a very attractive, well-to-do couple that is trying to, I guess, reconcile their romance after having a miscarriage. And they're going to do that by getting an Airbnb on Ventura Beach, which is some very plush Southern California real estate. I think probably those houses are going for at least $8 or $9 million a piece, right? Maybe even more.
More than a few bucks.
Yeah, they're great big houses.
Guaranteed more than a few bucks.
I mean, you're going to want at least 10 or 20, is what I'd say. Private docks, private beaches, huge houses, clearly Southern California, right there on the coast. It's beautiful. It's amazing. We get a little backstory from these two. It's Alex and Petri. Petri's a very strong Swedish dude, very chiseled jawline with a nice Tom Selleck mustache.
And a giant growth on his chin.
I noticed that. I tried not to let it distract me from the movie, but it was definitely there.
Yeah, it was prominent. It got its own listing in the credits.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Chin growth. Very attractive couple. And we have Alex, his wife. She looks like she could probably perform on Brazzers or any number of MILF-oriented adult websites.
Yeah.
So as well with the rest of the cast here, man. A lot of MILFs involved. I love it.
Yeah, she's been rode hard and put away wet.
And had some surgery to compensate for it, I believe. I'm okay with that, too. It's all good. As they're taking their Uber to this Airbnb coastal palace, we get some backstory. Oh, we should have had another baby. Oh, we miscarried. So sad. Oh, this is going to be good for us. We're going to spend some time in SoCal, and we're going to just be by ourselves. No work, no stress. We're going to relax. It's going to be great. Very cool. They get to the house. Once the Uber driver starts unloading the bags, we're going to notice another lady kind of lurking in the driveway. Not quite Brazzers level attractiveness, but she doesn't look like she belongs there. She's dressed kind of shabby. Once we get a close-up of her, we're going to recognize her. It's Kelly Maroney, Jason Harrell.
It is.
You recognize the name, Kelly Maroney?
Oh, yeah.
Chopping Mall. Night of the Comet.
Good stuff.
Other 80s movies that were probably okay.
Those are definitely the two standouts.
Those are the top billings right there. It's Kelly Maroney. She looks okay. A little underdressed for this community. Now, here's the problem. They get to the Airbnb. They go to hit the lockbox, which is what you do. And as they're hitting it, the door opens, and the owners of the house are there waiting for them. And we're going to meet these two. It's Russell and Ingrid. I already got a creepy... First off, I've done the Airbnb thing. The whole appeal of the Airbnb is, yes, I will stay at your house. That in itself is creepy enough, since I don't know you. But the kind of redeeming factor is that I don't have to know you.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be part of this equation.
I'm okay with you filming me secretively.
Of course. I expect that.
But just don't be there.
I don't want to meet you.
Right.
I don't want to know whose beds I'm jizzing in. That's the thing. Because then I'm going to feel bad about jizzing in them, maybe. Or maybe not. I don't know. We meet these two. They own the house. I got like a Poltergeist 2 vibe from Russell. Like the cane in the hat. Come on in. I'm 109 years old.
It sounds like the subspecies guy.
A little bit, but he was had more of a gay yachtsman vibe to him. Very specific.
More
I know.
a yeoman.
Something like that, yeah. His wife, Ingrid, is probably 40 years younger than him.
At least.
And pregnant, which I already take issue because there's no fucking way... 114 pounds of skeletal Russell.
Yeah, he's blowing dust at this point.
At best. So I think he either hired... Well, we'll get into that. That's part of the story. But she's pregnant, 9 months pregnant. And they're like, oh, welcome in. Come on in. Let us give you the nickel and dime tour. Somehow they end up staying for dinner. and opening up the wine cellar, which is there on the property.
That's how I want to spend my first night at
With
Airbnb.
some complete fucking strangers getting hammered. Especially, like, these guys in particular. They are wildly creepy to me. The old guy who's very touchy-feely, like with Petrie and Al, come on in, let me put my hands on you and grab you. It's weird, dude. No, I would probably be like, oh, you're here? Well,
you're such an ageist.
I am an ageist.
You would think that, you being an older man now.
I know.
would be very pro that guy.
But I'm not a gay yachtsman, is the thing. Maybe if I was...
You are a seaman.
It's true. Maybe if I was going to go down that road, I don't know. But that's just weird. I don't know you. I'm staying in your house. That's weird enough. Now I have to get to know you. You're not part of my vacation plan. You understand that? I'm here to relax, have fun with the wife, and now here's you guys. And that's awkward enough because you're, 60 years older than her. She's pregnant somehow. I feel like we need to talk about that. I don't want to get into your back. I just want you to leave so that I can fuck in your bedroom, is what we're going for here.
Snoop through the cabinets.
Regardless, they hang out. They have dinner. They get a little tipsy. Alex is like, oh God, I drank way too much. I'm going to go to bed. Before she goes to bed, Russell and Ingrid invite her and Petrie out on their boat the next day. So they're like, yeah, that sounds great. Let's do that. And then, of course, Alex goes to bed. Petrie follows her a couple hours later after Ingrid and Russell leave. And he puts a pretty good banging on her. And this is where we come to the conclusion that we already knew. They were being filmed the whole time. We get a little porno scene here with Petrie and Ingrid. She's hot. I'll give her that. She's had some surgery. She could definitely appear on Gina LaPiano. She could appear in any number of Brazzers clips.
Oh, easily.
And she's had some work done.
I don't think anybody pay her to do it, but she'd probably upload a few.
I get that. And you know what the weird part I read about this movie is? The actress, Gia LaPiano, she actually owns that house.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, trophy wife. Probably to some kind of a pharmaceutical guy or something. I don't
Sure.
I don't know. I'll make up my own backstory.
It's a good backstory.
I'll make up my own backstory. But
and you said you're not a writer.
Hey, tell you what. And she was more than happy to get naked. We see a lot of naked Gia LaPiano, and that's okay. And I'm glad that they went there because that's part of the story is the sexual encounters. It only makes sense that there would be some naked bodies involved. Yep. So I'm glad they grew a pair and put that in there. Puts a pretty good banging on her. The whole community we find out is watching via closed circuit TV, and there was like some mention earlier during the dinner scene about how, we're kind of our own little, society here. We're all retired, and we've got one guy that's obsessed with baking, so he bakes stuff for everybody. We got a bunch of gardeners. They grow all of our vegetables. It's great. We're living off the grid, except in this very palatial,
right?
Yeah, seaside community.
Really roughing it.
Really roughing it. These dudes. Regardless, everything's cool. She wakes up the next morning and catches Russell tit-lurking from the back pier. Yeah. And she's like, he saw me naked. And why are you traipsing around in front of the windows naked to begin with? Regardless, clearly she wanted him to see her naked, if you ask me. Or
Obviously.
was hoping for a pool boy or somebody under the age of 85 to see her naked. Probably just gave that dude a heart attack, by the way. She goes down. She's like, I'm still a little woozy. I think I'm just going to lay down. So Petrie ends up going to their boat by himself. They don't actually set sail. The boat is just like docked, and they hang out on the boat and have some more drinks and start smoking weed with Ingrid and Russell. At one point, they pass the joint over to Petrie, and he's like, I had to warn you, I get very loopy when I had the marijuana. And they're like, yeah, okay, no problem. He takes a couple of hits, and then Russell breaks out like a Zippo lighter. Mm-hmm. He's like, look into the light. And then he's like, okay, yeah. And then he like kind of averts his gaze to Ingrid's vagina. Because she just spreads wide open, and now there's like a flashlight beam coming out of her pussy. Mm-hmm. And Petrie, whatever, is like transfixed by her pussy light. Yep. So they make him get down on his knees, And this is when Alex and Ingrid basically shoots a tentacle out of her pussy, and it goes right into Petrie's mouth.
I mean, we saw it coming.
Of course. We're in Lovecraft land.
Right.
It'd be goddamn if there isn't at least one tentacle in this movie. And it's probably going to come out of vagina.
It would have to.
I mean, where else going to come from, really? And from there, Petrie kind of like gets, they like snap him out of it, but now he's like in a hypnotic state, and he's very much involved with the community, and he wants to be a part of it, and all kinds of fun stuff. Good for him. He makes it back to the house where Alex is getting up and moving around and feeling a little bit better. They've been invited to a big house party a couple doors down on the beach there. I'm very excited. We should go, right? Yeah, let's go. Okay, we'll go.
Yeah, let's spend the rest of our vacation time with these damn old creepy
with
people.
These octogenarians that are leading this bizarro hedonistic lifestyle that I feel like at some point I'm going to have to watch old people fuck, and I don't want to do that. You know,
I think you'd watch.
I probably would, to be honest. But I'm not going to beat off to it until a later point in time. I'm not going to do it in front of them.
I've got standards, damn it.
I'm not going to give them the win. No way. So they reluctantly agree to go to this house party. In the meantime, we cut back to Kelly Maroney and what her problem is. She knocks on the door after Alex gets up and moving around. She's like, you have to leave. You have to leave right now. What's going on? The people are disappearing. My daughter was here and she disappeared. Have you seen her? And she's got like all the stack of have you seen me flyers. They're like, no, man. As they're having this very hurried, panicked conversation, the sheriff, I guess he's more of a security guard type of a dude. But he's dressed like a sheriff.
Yeah, he's dressed like a sheriff.
Got the cowboy hat.
Yeah.
And
he's a real doucher.
He is. He rolls up and he's like, oh, you get out of here. So Kelly Maroney takes off. And he's like, oh, sorry about that. That's our local crazy lady. Her daughter disappeared, and she thinks we had something to do with it. And then her house got foreclosed on, and now she just kind of walks around handing out flyers, try to shoo her off. And Alex is like, oh, maybe we should try to help her or something. No, don't worry about it. Anyway, see you guys at the party, right? Yeah, okay. So after that, he leaves. Very creepy vibe from him, too, by the way. Alex's friend Debbie rolls up. Again, looks like she could perform for Brazzers. Very surgically augmented, probably in her early 50s.
Yeah, you could easily see a lesbian couch scene, like...
It was on its way.
Getting ready to be uploaded.
Yeah, it was on its way. Somebody's nipple was going to pop out, and then somebody was going to suck that nipple.
One thing leads to another.
Of course. I mean, every time my wife has one of her friends over. It came out again. They're having a couple of drinks. Debbie brought her own wine, so they're kind of actually getting hammered, not getting sick or anything. And then I think there was supposed to be like some comedic interlude here, but I don't know. It just kind of fell short for me. They're having a good time. Petrie rolls back up. He's like, hey, you guys ready to go to the party? And Debbie's like, yeah, with this weird cult of yours. And he's like, they're nice people. We need to go and be respectful. Oh, wow, that was weird and uncomfortable. And then Petrie walks off to get ready for the party. About that time, everything's cool here for a minute. They decide to go to the party. They go to the party. It basically... Then we get this weird doctor shows up who is clearly a guy in drag, right?
Oh, yeah.
That was a guy in drag.
Yeah, I think he had shown up a little bit prior.
I think you're right. Yeah. Like before Debbie got there.
Yeah.
And gives Alex like a weird examination, but then does acupressure on her hands and makes her feel better.
Mm-hmm.
But takes a pee sample.
No, I didn't remember.
Okay. You're not a real doctor. You just wanted some piss.
Right. You're just into golden showers.
That's all. Get your fucking ass out of here, you drag queen. It's clearly a dude in drag, but that's never addressed, so I guess we just have to write off this guy as an actual female. He's like, ooh, it's me. Russell and Ingrid sent me. They want me to check on you. So they does like a weird examination, takes some piss with him at her, and then takes off right before Debbie gets there.
Clearly channeling Julia Childs.
Is that who it was?
Yeah.
She may have had some recipes ready to go that needed some piss. So she's like, this is the weirdest community ever. They have like a on like a house call doctor in drag that shows up. And then, I don't know, Petrie just disappears and now he like wants to join and everything. It's weird. Debbie shows up. They have a little comedic interlude. Then we get the weird exchange with Petrie and then off to the party they go. The party looks like any number of scenes that you would find on Brazzers where somebody's wife is about to get dicked down by a giant black man.
Or at a senior center.
That too. Except that all the wives I thought were very milfy, which is fine.
It was a very eclectic bunch.
Yeah,
it was a very mixed crew.
All the dudes were like probably 60 to 80 years old. All the wives, maybe 40, 50s, but heavily surgically augmented. And there's 2 random kids running around with purge masks on.
Yeah, they were.
Fair enough. Alrighty then. We get a fire dancer who was actually really good, I thought, that little fire dancing sequence.
That's something.
I thought, I don't know, they were going to have like an orgy or something, but it never happened. Eventually, like, there's some weird, awkward exchanges between Debbie, Alex, and the weird purge kids, and then like the weird mothers come back, and then finally they're like, okay, we're going to go. Petrie, of course, is like, I will stay. I want to see what's going on. So they take off down the beach back to the house. They get there. One of the purge kids is there waiting for them on their little porch. Like, oh, sweetie, what are you doing? I've got webbed fingers. And she's got webbed fingers. And they're like, oh, don't touch me. And she's like, and then she hauls ass. So then they go inside, and this part is kind of silly. They find oddly enough, a H.P. Lovecraft book on a shelf. Take it out, and they find a bunch of letters from whom I assume was the hot naked chick from the opening scene.
Yes.
But they're written in Swedish, which, wouldn't you know, Debbie can translate. Apparently she's fluent in Scandinavian language. So she starts translating, oh, we're at this weird community. I think my life is in danger. Mom, help me. Get me out of here. I'm going to try to leave tonight. Oh, very scared. Oh, so now there's like an impending sense of dread all of a sudden. Okay, excellent. Debbie takes, well, before that, we are actually going to cut to a little side scene of Kelly Maroney actually getting killed. The old Russell, was it Russell or the sheriff? I think it was the sheriff. Tracks her down in the parking lot and then abducts her in the car and drives her off somewhere. We don't really see what happens to Kelly Maroney other than there's like a little cat and mouse sequence and then he grabs her in the car and that's the last we see of her. Now we're going to cut to Debbie, who's finally like, oh my God, my babysitter called. I got to get out of here. So she's leaving. Apparently she has a muscle car, which is kind of weird.
Didn't notice.
It's a muscle car.
All right.
She gets in it. She's like, boom, boom. I'm going to go to my kid. Starts
and then head over to my softball game.
That too. And then I've got a photo shoot. She starts backing out of the parking lot, and the weird girl with the webbed fingers just stands in front of her car, and she's like, hey. And then the old guy creeps up behind her, grabs her. Debbie gets out of the car, and she's like, hey, get out of the road, you crazy kid. I think the old guy hit her with an oar or something like that in the head. Debbie goes down and apparently is paralyzed, which I think we should have explored because the sequence looks very dumb because basically Debbie just lays on the ground and then the old guy gets in her car, throws it in reverse, gets a run at her and just runs over her head, which is cool, but I'm watching it going, move.
Right.
Why don't you just move?
Roll.
Get out of the way. Instead, they never say, oh, I can't move, I can't feel my legs, something to let us know that she's paralyzed.
Yeah.
Instead, it's kind of a cool sequence because you get to see him drive over her head, but that probably could have been fleshed out a little bit more. All right. Now it's showtime back at the house of the deep ones, as they say. We're now in full-on cult mode there back at the party. We get a weird kind of psycho dream sequence where they hypnotize Petrie again, and he gets a bunch of weird flashes of tentacles and flashing lights, and he's full-on going into Cthulhu land, and they're doing the actual Cthulhu chant. So if you didn't know already...
Lots of tongue clicking.
A lot of that, and like a howl. They do a howl. They blow into a seashell, and then a
lot of therium music.
That too, yeah. And I think there was a little more fire dancing, so we have that going for us.
Thank goodness.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, here comes the black robes and the weird lighting. It's going down. Petrie goes back to the house where Alex is up, and she's like, I don't feel well again. Oh, no. She goes down to the kitchen where she runs into Russell and Ingrid. And now Petrie is there with him, and he's like, "Oh, honey, we're going to move to this place and be part of the community." And she's like, "Well, no, I don't like it." Make a long story short, there's a little cat and mouse sequence. Petrie kind of snaps out of it for a second, just long enough for Alex to stab Russell with this weird ornamental. It looked like a stick to me.
I thought it was a stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there was supposed to be some significance to it. Shanks him with it, kills him. He immediately starts thanking her for killing him, which is kind of nice. Ingrid, though, somehow gets kicked in the stomach during the struggle and births a octopus? I'm going to say an octopus.
Ish. Yeah.
Kind of a thing, which attacks Petrie. Alex is like, well, fuck this shit. She just hauls ass out onto the beach in her nightgown. And then we get like a recreation of the opening sequence where the naked chick was running down the beach. Hooded figures chase her, tackle her. Petrie shows back up. He's a little worse for the wear. Hold her down. And this I was with you up until this point. This is where things get kind of stupid. Out from the water pops what is supposed to be Dagon. Now, I'm not going to bore you with Lovecraft mythology.
Thank you.
Or the mythos of Dagon or how he interlocks with Cthulhu and Nyarlathotep and all that stuff. What I will say is that the thing that came out of the water at the end of this movie was very dumb looking.
Yes. Very dumb looking.
It had like a Creature from the Black Lagoon vibe, but a much more kind of just silly. It just.
I have a note here.
Okay,
that
I would
says,
love to hear your note.
Final creature looks like a cross between the merman from Cabin in the Woods and a Sleestack from Land of the Lost.
That's accurate. I would say that's accurate. It reminded me a lot of Merman from Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
You know, if that brings back any memories. He gets out, the cult holds her down, and we get a kind of a silly tentacle rape scene where he just kind of climbs on top of her and she's screaming, no, 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 no. From there, we cut immediately to 9 months later, where another very attractive couple has apparently Airbnb'd the same house, but this time they're met at the door by Petrie and Alex, and now Alex is 9 months pregnant, and Petrie is wearing the gay yachtsman hat. Welcome to my house. Come on in. So
was there a body transference that occurred, or is it simply that they're just now part of the clique?
I think they are now part of the clique.
Okay.
Because I don't know. That would be my opinion. I could be wrong. It's not a bad show. I mean, you know where it's going right from the start. It's clearly a Cthulhu cult. They're clearly trying to hatch something. And since we got all this backstory about trying to get pregnant and the miscarriage that brought the couple to the seaside house to begin with, we know exactly where it's going. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a tired story.
It's exactly what you thought it would be.
Exactly. We got some TNA in there. Thank you very much for that. I was with you right up until Dagon came out of the water. When that stupid fucking thing came out.
Oh, he looked terrible.
He looked dumb as shit.
Fucking terrible.
Had a big light bulb head on him, and then like some half-assed attempt at like a tentacle beard from what's supposed to look more like Cthulhu. I'm not going to bore you with the whole mythos, but Dagon is not supposed to look like that. But Dagon is basically a fish with legs, which sounds equally dumb, but maybe could have been. Here's the problem I have with a lot of horror movies. If you can't create the effect you were going for, take a less is more approach.
Yeah.
You could just show like a tentacle coming over or something like that, or some shit coming out of the sand, or, you know, it gets real dark all of a sudden and all you see is some eyes creeping up from the surf or something. When you show that, man.
His chin just looked like a bunch of dicks drooping down from his... I mean, it just looked like a bunch of dicks hanging right off his chin.
They were going for like a Cthulhu.
I know what they were going for.
I know. And I'm not making excuses. You're exactly right. It's very phallic, penis-looking kind of a thing.
Yeah.
that really killed the movie for me. I was with you up till that point.
I was not.
Okay. I'm not mad at this one. 4.1 on IMDb. I'd say that's fair.
Yeah,
what do you think?
I still put it at a 4.
At a 4?
Yeah.
Sure. That's fine. You know what you're getting. You know what you're getting into. You know where it's going. I got no major complaints. You threw in some TNA. This is a movie with balls, Jason. You know?
And tits.
And tits. I didn't see any actual balls, unless they were on that fish thing's chin.
The clicking shit with the he-she cross-dressing dude was very annoying.
I'm a little upset that wasn't addressed.
They go a little overboard with the theremin music.
Sure.
The chanting sounded like Old MacDonald had a farm.
Okay.
A bunch of E-I-E-I-O type of deal.
That's a Lovecraft thing, but you're right.
Let's see. And then at the end, right before the credit roll, as she's closing the door, she stares directly at the camera and like kind of smirks at you.
Grin, yeah.
I'm like, that's just stupid. Cut it out.
Sure.
And I didn't know what was more gross, the tentacles flopping around somebody's snatch or that thing on Petrie's chin.
The thing on Petrie's chin. I don't know what it was. It's clearly some kind of a mole or a birth defect or something.
A failed Siamese twin.
It could be that too, yeah.
It could be the resurgence of Belial.
Some kind of a suture from an old bar fight that got infected. I don't know.
It was fine.
It's fine. Yeah, I'm not mad at it at all. I mean,
I just feel like, yes, once again, it's been told.
Right. It is a tired
It
plot.
is a very wash, rinse, repeat type of deal. And again, I don't have a problem with that. I just always am hopeful that something could be done a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this just felt like more or less the same.
I would agree. I'll tell you right now, if I were, my wife would probably willingly take a tentacle for some beachfront property in Ventura. To include carrying
for some of those houses, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
I'm into it. She would say no until she saw the house.
Sure.
So I deliver this octopus, and then after that, we get to live here forever.
I'm
in. Okay. Do I have to fuck the fish thing or no? My wife doesn't sound like that, by the way. It's not a bad show. If you're really in the mood for some Lovecraft, why not? I would say it's better. We watched one
with Barbara Crampton.
Yeah, well, about 4 or 5 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I would say this one's better than that one. What do you think?
I like the other one a little bit better.
Why?
Probably Barbara Crampton.
Okay. Even doing that nutsack Norwegian accent.
Honestly, I think, and this goes back to what you were saying a couple of minutes ago, the less is more.
Sure.
They showed nothing in that movie. No. But I appreciated that more than what came out of the fucking water on this thing.
I see how that's a deal breaker. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, if they would have dialed this back a little bit, actually, I mean, like the tentacle stuff was perfectly fine.
Sure.
And the other movie with Barbara Crampton, I think they kind of developed the story a little bit better.
Yeah.
So I think it just had a little bit more going for it.
Fair enough. That is the deep ones, ladies and gentlemen. We found this on Tubi, right?
Yes.
Okay, check it out if you're interested. We're going to take us a little break and come back with some other stuff.
Hey inmates, if you like what you hear, head over to the Padded Room Facebook group and support us through the Patreon link with a small monthly donation. Check out the T-Villain link at paddedroom.podbean.com and grab some t-shirts. Thanks for listening and enjoy the rest of the show.
And we're back, Jason.
Yep.
Yes, sir. You know, I am down to join a Cthulhu cult. I'm down to join any cult, long as it, like the Ventura beachfront community.
Mm-hmm.
I'm into that. Guy says, hey, you want to join my Cthulhu cult? We meet at a bowling alley every Thursday.
Okay. Now, what's your big selling point? Is it the robes? Is it the beachfront property? Is it the tentacle porn?
In that case, it's the MILFs.
Okay.
It's a very MILF-friendly locale.
Gotcha.
A lot of trophy wives. Those 85-year-olds aren't banging them. So I could be the stud single dad.
Yeah, you could.
Hanging around, hey, you ladies need some work done, or come on up. Oh, okay. But yeah, I think that's the whole selling point of any cult is that, hey, we are offering you a better life than what you got.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if we were going to start a cult,
which you've tried to do,
I know nobody's buying it because I'll put. Hey, come hang out in my guest room. We'll talk about horror movies.
You haven't exactly upsold the better
really.
life part of it.
I got you, and I had Monica, but she walked away. So I'm back down to you. Buddy shows up, but only when he fucking feels like it. I think I'm going to have to start beating him or something. Right on, man. Are you ready to get into a meat hook,
sure
my
am.
friend?
You bet.
Three on a meat hook.
This week's meat hook, top 3 cult movies. I'm talking about movies that feature religious or alien cults, not like cult following movies, but like actual religious cult, people in cults, about cults, those kind of movies, Jason. What's your number 3, amigo?
My number 3, House of the Devil.
Oh, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. Sure.
I enjoy that.
See, oddly enough, I think I remember you complaining about that one the first time you saw it.
For the first time.
Very slow.
Just like Innkeepers.
Yeah.
So those 2 meat hooks, I have Ty West coming in at number 3.
I love it. I love that you've turned number 1, I love that you've turned a corner on Ty West. Number 2, I love that you're okay to admit that. That's not something you find a lot these days.
Yeah.
Well, I fucking hate that guy. I'm never going to watch.
That's what, and when I say that I have watched The Shining numerous times,
mm-hmm.
it's in the effort to try to expand myself and my appreciation for it, because I've seen House of the Devil more than once, came around on it, and then came around on Innkeepers.
Sure. So. Right on, man. My number 3 is going to be The Ritual.
Nice.
There is a cult in it.
Yep.
Or I'd call it a cult. I don't know what else you'd call it.
I would.
More of like a buddy redemption story where everybody dies.
Yeah.
I think is probably
wrapped around
the best.
the cult.
But the fucking monster in that one, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Blow your mind. What the hell is that thing?
It's a good flick.
It is. And the goddamn thing, dude, it's like somebody put a person on a giant moose head or something. I don't even know how to explain it. But even without the monster, you have like the weird mummified zombie situation in the attic in that place. Mm-hmm. You have like that whole Wicker Man vibe, the Blair Witch vibe in that first cabin that they stopped. There's a lot to unpack there.
There is.
It's a great show. I would say number 3 for me is The Ritual.
Nice. Good pick.
We have Buddy's here. Let's take a look at Buddy's show.
Very good.
His number 3 was The Void. Have you seen The Void?
No.
That is not a bad show. It's pretty good. The one complaint that I hear a lot about it is that it's just a big special effects showcase. Mm-hmm. They do it's ridiculous with the special effects. The cult aspect is there, but it's very downplayed. We're back to Lovecraft country, and they show you a lot in this one. done much better than in the deep ones. But when they kick it in, man, you kind of forget where you are and what you're doing because they really ramp it up. Right on, man. How about number 2?
Real quick, Sarah had...
oh, sure. What's Sarah's?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and throw hers in there. She had The Invitation for her number 3.
Okay. It's a good one, too.
Love that movie.
Me, too. Slow
Very
burn.
slow.
Yeah.
But, man, the first time I saw that ending, wow.
Yeah.
I just love seeing all those red lanterns go, you know,
and
lighting
hearing
up
the
stuff.
sirens in the
Yeah.
background.
Oh,
It's
great.
going down, dude. It's like a terror cell or something.
That's cool.
Yeah.
My number 2, The Empty Man.
Okay. Sure. That's a cult movie. I'd call that a cult movie.
Yeah.
A great understated scene in that movie. Where they're all like moving in formation.
Yeah.
And he's in the woods and he's like, they don't see me, I'm fine.
Yeah,
and he takes a step back and they take a step forward.
Yeah, then it's just thick.
Oh shit.
Yeah. They see me.
Did you ever track down a physical copy of that?
Yeah, had to get it all the way from Australia.
Fuck.
The only country where it was released like actually in a case.
Okay.
Here in the United States, they released it to Redbox, I think.
That's it.
So you could only get it like out of a machine.
Oh. Did you look on Etsy?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I want to try to get a good one.
Okay, Mr. Highfalutin. Right on, man. My number 2 is going to be a less conventional cult movie, and I could probably say it's not really a horror movie. It's more of a drama, but it's a little film called Martha, Mary, May, Marlene. And I'm probably fucking that up somehow.
Okay.
Stars Elizabeth Olsen. Have you seen it?
Nope.
It's basically a young lady that is removed from a cult and is now trying to rebuild her life in a weird kind of deprogramming, but like a very passive attempt at deprogramming. She gets naked. And that's one of my favorite parts right there. Fancy that. I know. Crazy. But
mind blown.
I know. But like number 1, the peek into the psychology of a young lady that would adopt a cult lifestyle, and then the process of how you pull her out of that. Pulling her out of the cult is easy enough. Pulling the cult out of her is a whole other situation.
Yeah.
And there are some horror elements, obviously. It's told at the point of her trying to basically reintegrate into her family and all the problems that she's having, trying to adapt to a normal human lifestyle, for lack of a better term. There's some horror elements. There's a lot of flashbacks to when she was in the cult. One of the things that I thought was the coolest about this, the title itself, Martha, Mary, May, Marlene. So while she was in the cult, she didn't have a name, but they had like a protocol involved where she could identify what the situation was by how she answered the phone or what she introduced herself. So her name literally was Martha, Mary, May, Marlene.
Yeah.
And depending which name she gave, that's how she would alert the other cult member. Oh, hi, it's me, Mary. How are you? That means, okay, this person is okay to talk to. Oh, it's me, Marcy. Okay, he's all right, but we can't divulge any secrets. Oh, it's me, Mary. We have a real problem here. And that whole like
kind of like, this is a friend of mine, this is a friend of ours.
Exactly. I mean, that's a very simple way of putting it, but yes, that's exactly right. Very cool. More of a drama. There is some light horror elements there, and you get to see Elizabeth Olsen naked, which is very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice. That was my number 2. Buddy's number 2, The Invitation, Red Lights, same thing.
Nice.
Right on.
Sarah had for number 2 your favorite, Rosemary's Baby.
I do not understand that, but okay. Fair enough.
Spoiler alert, it didn't make my list, but I do like it, man.
Fair enough.
I don't know why.
I don't get it either.
So my number 1, and again, you have to kind of expand your thinking of cults.
Sure.
It's more of just an ideological belief, network, system, group. So my number 1 is The Hunt.
I thought about that. I seriously put some serious thought into The Hunt, because what else would you call that system of thought. And if you're taking these people to the point of rounding up other people for a death hunt.
Yeah.
I think we've crossed the threshold of just being a group of friends.
Yeah, under the guise of your belief system and your ideological leanings.
Good versus bad.
Whether that be religion or
politics. Anything, really. Yeah.
And that's why this list was kind of hard to put together, because how do you really differentiate between a coven versus a cult?
Yeah, exactly.
So it was kind of hard it was really hard to put this list together.
Yeah. No, I struggled a little bit. My number one was always firmly in place, and that's going to be Hereditary.
Nice.
Great movie. Yep. You don't know it's a cult movie until like the last, 20, 25 minutes or so.
Yeah.
But once you cross that threshold and you know where we're at and where our trajectory is taking us, oh, fuck. Okay.
Yeah, and I would strongly agree. I just have to go with something that I can consume with more frequency. And Hereditary is very heavy.
I would say that is the one drawback.
Maybe once a year.
Yeah, that is the one drawback. It's very atmospheric. Great show. I wouldn't put it on the same shelf as like The Witch. The Witch I will watch once a year.
Yeah.
Hereditary I'll kick out 3-4 times a year.
Oh, shit. See, I'm the opposite. I'll actually watch The Witch
sure,
numerous times in a year. But
okay.
I can only take Hereditary maybe once a year.
See, The Witch for me is a very active watch. You got to sit down. You got to fucking focus on what the hell they're saying, because with or without subtitles, like what I need is like a modern English translation.
Right.
So at least then I get a better grasp of what's happening.
Yeah.
But you got to sit down and focus on what you're watching. Pay attention. Here's Tomlin. She's going out there. She's doing that. Or Thomason. She's going out there. She's doing that. Baby's gone. Okay, now he's mad. Now, hot chick in the woods. How does this all tie together? It makes sense in the end, but to catch all the nuance that leads up to that, you've got to really pay attention. Hereditary, watch it once and really pay attention. After that, you can put it on and appreciate it for more of the aesthetic. Like that, I think it was Oregon or Central Washington or something like that, wherever they filmed it. The drab location.
Yeah, very bleak.
The poor teenage kid. That fucking scene at the dinner table. You just sit there with your face on your face. Goddamn, can Tawny Collette pull off a fucking monologue?
She can.
That's my number one. Buddy's number one, Rosemary's Baby. Mm-hmm. Again, I don't get it, but fair enough.
The payoff at the I think it's all about that payoff, and then you got some nice Satan fucking along the way.
Sure.
So
I mean,
that helps move it along a little bit.
If you say so.
Sarah's number one, also Hereditary.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Right on. That is our 3 on the meat hook for this week, inmates. We would love to hear what you have to say. What are your top 3 cult movies? Cult is a broad term. It can mean a lot of different things. So whatever your interpretation is, we would love to hear it. Go to paddedroompodcast.com, click the contact link. You can get a hold of us there, or just mail at paddedroompodcast.com, and that'll come to us also.
Sure.
Yeah, right?
We really look certain about that.
I'm looking for some affirmation here, Jason, but whatever. Or get us on the mental health hotline, area code 775-387-0275. We would love to know.
Did have a couple of
honorable
mentions here that... I really consider putting Red State on there.
That's a cult. That is a cult.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's like a Waco situation.
And that's just a really good movie.
When Kevin Smith goes serious and just roots out the comedy, he can do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Compare that to Tusk.
What was
or
that?
Yoga Hosers.
What was that other shitty one he did with Bruce Willis and Tracy Morgan?
Oh, Cop
Out. Was it Cop Out or something
maybe?
like that?
Yeah.
It was dumb as fuck. It's terrible.
And Sarah and I had both considered The Village. And I know that you're mad at that for a particular reason. But aside from that, but unfortunately we couldn't really consider it horror.
So that brings us to an interesting point. is it a cult if they don't believe their own bullshit? Because the village, say what you will about it, they knew, the village elders or whatever they called themselves, they knew that they were full of shit.
Sure.
They had just created this belief system and shoved everybody into it.
I think at that point it tilts over more towards a political ideology.
Sure.
They are keeping people there and trapped in a portion of time for very specific societal reasons.
Okay.
So it's almost like more political and societal justification than anything, I would say.
I mean, I guess you would still call that a cult. I don't know what else you would call it.
No, I would definitely.
They had a compound, for Christ's sakes.
We just couldn't call it horror.
Yeah,
even though the first time I watched it, it was a little freaky.
Yeah. What were they? The things in red or whatever they were? The creatures? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Till you find out it's just a dude in a costume.
A guy with a silly
fucking
costume.
Jack off. Right on, inmates. Other than that, I think it's time for some Pterodome action.
No tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
I'm not gonna hurt you. You didn't let me finish my sentence. I said, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in. I'm gonna bash them right the fuck in. I'll kill you all. I'll drive you crazy. I'll kill you all. I'll bring that night my worst dream come true.
6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face. The blackish eyes. The devil's eyes.
Welcome to the Pterodome.
Let's kick things off with last week's winner, shall we? In singles competition out of the Asylum Conference, we had Willie the Weasel versus Rose. Now, just a reminder, inmates, Willie the Weasel from Willy's Wonderland, Rose, the antagonist, or I guess technically protagonist, from Rabid, David Cronenberg's, or if you want to interpret it the other way, from the Soska Sisters remake. Let's see here. Tex McAdoo reopened the Wonderland the following morning. He wasn't surprised or disappointed by what he found. The attractive young lady dead at the floor. The animatronic representations of Willie and his cohort spattered in blood. With a vote of 13-1, Jason.
Ooh.
Willie advances over Rose. I figured that's how that would go. Yeah. I mean, Rose is sexy. Marilyn Chambers, porn star, portrayed the original Rose. It's a weird vampire stinger thing that comes out of your armpit. And also makes you incredibly horny, apparently. I don't know. Weird movie. Interesting premise. Remake by the Soska twins. I'm going to say probably better. Unless you're some kind of a Cronenberg purist, which I know you're not.
There's 7 of them out there.
There's a good baker's dozen, at least, of the Cronenberg types. Let's get into this week's matchup, shall we? As usual, inmates, bear with me. I'm not much of a writer, and this one was pretty hard. Belasco House, October 7th. Paranormal Research Project 17A, Dr. Barrett's research group. Allison watched the monitors with bated breath. She could feel the presence long before any actual activity was recorded. It had attached itself to her and made its presence known the night before. Back home, Allison's boyfriend, Jonathan, was dealing with a different presence. He had aided the local police in the apprehension and subsequent execution of a notorious serial killer, Horace Pinker. Pinker's last words were to reveal that he was actually Jonathan's biological father and that he'd returned from the grave for revenge. The monitors in front of Allison began to flicker. The image of an angry, haggard face appeared on one of them, and then a hand with a knife burst through another. Singles competition, we have Emmerich Belasco versus Horace Pinker, Jason Harrell. Do you have any idea who Emmerich Belasco is or what his deal is?
No.
I didn't think so. So I'm going to put you down for Horace Pinker, unless you're going to correct me.
What's he from?
Legend of Hell House. Belasco House.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I didn't remember that being even in the lineup.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
I am going to take Emmerich Belasco. No real reason.
Right.
No real reason at all. But
there you go.
He's dead, and he haunts the Belasco house, and he can be a bit of a prick. I mean, Horace Pinker's a real prick, though.
Such a prick.
Fucking asshole. But I feel like he's kind of... I feel like Belasco would be smarter than Pinker, and... if Pinker is brought into the Belasco house right before Dr. Barrett's machine goes off, theoretically it would kill both of them, but it's still... I'm gonna take Belasco. I don't need to justify myself to you, sir.
No, you don't.
Or anybody else, for that matter. And neither does anybody else. Get us your votes by next week, inmates. Again, paddedroompodcast.com. Click the contact link or mail at paddedroompodcast.com or the mental health hotline, area code 775-387-0275.
And the new vote will be up tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. You can click the Terradome link and just vote online if you don't want to talk to us. Which, in that case, go fuck yourselves.
Although it is very understandable.
It is. I get it. We can be abrasive.
We don't want to talk to each other either.
Not really. How about a little, what are you looking at there, Jason?
What are you looking at?
So I have a love-hate relationship with Tubi. I love it because you can start a movie and it'll just roll right into the next movie. It'll kind of cherry pick the next movie based on the movie that you picked, which I kind of dig. And if you fall asleep or you have other things going on, you can leave and come back and there'll be something else playing. And it'll be in the vein, at least, of something that you picked previously. So I picked a movie, which I have completely forgotten about. Woke up a couple hours later, and what I woke up to was Huldra, Lady of the Forest, from 2016. Some kind of Scandinavian deal, spirit that haunts the forest and periodically picks people to come be her forest servants, which then they open up like these weird camping resorts, and they call other people in, and then they get sacrificed to Huldra. A lot of sex, a lot of weird forest spirits and entities and ethereal things and weird psychedelic dream sequences. Not the best thing I've ever seen, but it did
sounds gripping.
There's a lot of boobs in
it.
So we had that going for us, and it kept me awake for an hour and a half. So I finished it, and it's not that great. I watched that, and then I watched Quicksand from 2023. It's basically open water in the jungle. Mm-hmm. Replace the sharks with one snake.
And mud.
And a lot of mud. I do have some problems with this because, number one, I was under the impression, I don't know how quicksand works. And since I was a kid, when I was terrified of it, it kind of vanished from like the urban legend mythos. But I was under the impression that you fell into quicksand, the more you struggled, the further you sunk, and then eventually it just swallowed you up and you were done.
Yeah.
Apparently that's not the case, because in this movie, the level of quicksand goes up and down. Like as the movie goes on, it'll be up to their chins at one point, and then down to their elbows, and then like down to their waist at another point, and then back up to their chins. A little distracting, you know.
That guy had an extensive knowledge of, like...
He
was a Wikipedia of quicksand.
Well, you got 13 seconds of him looking at a guidebook in the cab. So he downloaded it. He downloaded the whole knowledge base into his cerebrum. That, number one. Number two, the the puddle of quicksand that they fell into was about 2 feet wide.
Yeah, you could have just reached across.
How do you not just back up an inch and then grab something?
Yeah.
Whatever, man. I don't want to nitpick it. It's basically open water at in the jungle with a happy ending. I can't really complain about it, but I'm never going to watch it again, and we'll probably forget about it as soon as I'm done talking. So there's that. What do you got, Jason?
Real quick, speaking of Tubi and the love-hate relationship with it,
yeah,
I showed a guy at work today in the office how to get around all the blocking that our work puts in place.
Oh, okay.
And I got him to connect to Tubi.
Okay.
And so he's kind of a virgin with horror movies, and he's just over there scrolling through things and asking, what maybe he should watch, maybe he shouldn't. And then I hear just out of his little corner of the office, he's like, "What the hell is Plank Face?"
You're going to start him off on Plank Face.
I didn't tell him to watch Plank Face. He just happened to see it there, and it's just funny that it just caught his eye,
Sure.
and he's like, "What the hell is Plank Face?"
Sure.
I'm like, well, there's a lot of running around naked.
There is naked.
It's actually way better than I would have thought.
There's some
I'm like,
old
but
lady.
I probably would not start off with Plank Face.
No, let's ease you into Plank Face.
So he
big guy.
started off with Terrifier, the first
Oh, that's even better.
Oh, that's great.
You are going to HR tomorrow, my friend.
I've only got a chance to see one other thing, and that is Insidious: The Red Door.
What'd you think?
We really liked it.
Good.
We really liked the continuation of the core family.
Cool.
It was very light on the horror overall.
Okay.
But the story just worked.
Cool.
There was just a lot that really worked as far as the movie as far as the movie went, and it wasn't necessarily the horror. It was the story really.
Cool.
And the characters really were compelling, and we really enjoyed it.
Patrick Stewart directed, right?
Not
Patrick Stewart.
not Jean-Luc Picard.
No, what's his name?
Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson.
Yeah.
Too many fucking Patricks, man.
There are.
Yeah, very cool, man.
Yeah, he
I'm
did
glad,
good. And bringing back the two original boys. Yeah, it really worked.
Nice. Very nice.
It's pretty good. That's all I've seen.
I was a little disappointed by the previous one. Was it the Lost Keys or whatever?
Last Key was 4.
Yeah.
And before that was the 3 with
the smoking guy with the respirator.
Yeah, the respirator deal.
Yeah. I wasn't mad at that one.
I don't like 2.
Really?
I just
I
don't
like 2 a lot. The Bride in Black?
Just revisited it. Yeah, it just doesn't do much for me.
All right. Well, whatever. You can be wrong. That's fine.
Can.
All righty. How about some immersion therapy, Mr. Harrell?
Mm-hmm.
Immersion therapy.
So, part of the fatherhood experience is watching your child grow up and having to appreciate that time as it's allotted to you. Now, that being said, if anything happened to either one of my kids, it would devastate me. Full on. 100%. I would not be the same person. I don't think anybody would, given that circumstance. But given the opportunity to bring that kid back, I think I would probably have to pass. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Take not into account my vast knowledge of horror films and how this is probably going to go.
Not very good.
But that being said, once somebody is gone, they're gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if they do come back, they're not going to be the same person. I'm not going to be the same person that they left when they left, or when whatever happened. That being said, talking about From Black, I get the desperation and the wanting to see your kid again. But, dude, when you're locking yourself in a mansion and doing black magic shit to do that, what are we really talking about?
Right.
You know? This one had shades of Pet Cemetery. Well, we didn't quite get to Pet Cemetery Land. We didn't quite get to Wakewood Land. The one that this really reminded me of is A Dark Song, but with a much darker outcome. Did you get a chance to watch it?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
It's okay. Its good parts were good.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they were rare and infrequent. And, like, it took a long time to get to those good parts. I like the creature.
Sure.
Had a good look about it. Acting was fine. The pacing it really seemed to drag on at times.
They kind of drug out the ritualistic aspects of it. Okay, we get it. You got to put there's a lot of man hours involved here with bringing back the dead kid. I understand that. But the payoff, whenever somebody is bringing somebody back from the dead, you got to know it's not going to work out the way you think it is.
No, it's not.
Never.
Yeah, just watch a movie.
Watch Frankenstein. How did that work out? Not very good.
What I didn't understand was that the whole thing started with the guy, the older guy, telling the girl that, hey, I know a way to, bring your kid back. I did it. It worked for me. But it never seemed like his daughter actually came back.
So
did he have to close the ritual? Was he still waiting for?
Well, no. As he explained it, his daughter was now living as somebody else with another family somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
But he could go see her and watch her from afar.
Wow.
Which was somehow fulfilling to him. So that being see, even still,
I got a little confused with it.
They make a big thing out of it, which they always do when it comes to this shit. Why would you want to passively participate in your kid? If you're going to the trouble to bring them back from the dead, hey, I want his ass back in his room. He's going to school tomorrow, and we are going to resume where we left off.
Right.
I'm not going to watch him from, I don't know, Boise, Idaho.
Sure.
Fuck that. I don't know, man. Regardless, I thought it was a good show. When they go into that weird nether realm or whatever it was, that was kind of weird. It's fine. It's basically a darker version of a dark song. Do you remember a dark song?
No.
That's the one. It's basically the exact same thing, but at the end, the ritual for her was contacting her guardian angel. And instead of seeking some righteous revenge or bringing the kid back, she asked for, quote unquote, the power to forgive. And then the angel gives her that, and she feels much better, I guess.
Sounds great.
I know, it's very rosy. Other than that, it's not a bad show.
No, it's fine.
Your immersion therapy for this week is going to be Swallow. Hey, you keep your pants on, mister. From 2019, starring Haley Bennett, Austin Stowell, directed by Carlo Mirabella Davis. Check this one out, inmates, streaming on Hulu. We will do the same and compare notes next week. But now, my friends, you must educate me.
Educating Miss Monica.
First, my clues from last week. I woke up in a box in the middle of nowhere, and I popped out, and now people are shooting at me, and I don't know what I'm doing. Good thing there's a hot blonde here who knows how to survive. Doesn't talk much, but she's really killing and doing a pretty good job of it, and crushing heads and returning fire when she gets a firearm, and I guess we're in Eastern Europe somewhere all this. I don't know. I am, of course, The Hunt, Jason.
Yeah.
Which was a movie that I adamantly avoided until
you
forced me to watch it. And now I own it on Blu-ray. It's actually a really good show.
It took so long for you to watch that.
Well, it came out right about 2020 election time,
yes.
And it had a very political... I wouldn't say it's political leaning, because if you actually sit down and watch it, it's kind of down the middle. But
well, I think even Trump had said, "Oh, they're coming out with movies where they're literally, killing conservatives and stuff." But like, if you watch, I mean, that side wins.
Yeah, at the end,
like it actually pokes fun of both sides, but ultimately, the conservative side wins.
Right.
Like, if anything, I don't know, should have championed it.
Yeah, I get it. But like the reason I avoided it was because in all of its advertising, it was very political leaning. The advertising was.
Yeah.
The movie itself, not so much. Who might I be this week, you ask?
We do ask.
Well, there were originally 9 of us. Now there's 8. We grew up in an orphanage together, and some pretty nutty stuff happened at that orphanage. But now they're getting ready to tear it down, and the 8 of us have got to go back. And I think some of us are just looking for closure for the events of our traumatic childhood, and some of us actually have a mission to accomplish here. Regardless, none of us are getting out of this orphanage alive, so there's that. Who might I be, you ask? Tune in next week, and I'll drop some knowledge on you, inmates. In the meantime, I think that's about going to do it for us this week. Join us next week for The Mutilator, closing out Beach Month here in the Padded Room. We do have a Patreon campaign running, if anybody gives a shit. Find the link to that, as well as anything else you need to know about us, the Terror Dome, immersion therapy, what kind of hairdo I might go with in the next season. I don't know. I might shave it all off. I don't know what I'm doing. I might dye it. There's a lot of options for me. Not so much for Jason.
Not too many.
Go to paddedroompodcast.com. Everything you need to know about us is there. Other than that, I think that's about it for me. You got anything, buddy?
That's it for me, too.
Alrighty. 4, beachfront property, Cthulhu cults, vaginal tentacles that can apparently go completely detach and go down somebody else's throat, vampires with armpit stingers, and the animatronic animals that might face them in some kind of opposition, and the Padded Room podcast. I'm afraid visiting hours are over.
Bye.
Put my heels in